It's time to reset for the new year. Cleaning my space. Time to talk about setting goals. Hello my dears, welcome back to the vlog. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dana. I'm 30, I live in Salem, Massachusetts, and I'm recently a full-time self-employed creative. So my primary stream of income is book editing, and I also am a writer, a dancer, content creator, etc. It is a super gloomy day, as you can tell. It's like 9 a.m. and this is the vibe in here. We have all the cozy lights on and such. Today is December 29th. It's the last Monday in 2025, and I am like so ready to get myself in the mindset for a new year. I've been pretty intentional about getting some good rest, like watching movies, playing games, reading all my books, hanging out with my husband, etc. throughout the last like week or so during the holiday, because as a self-employed person, it's really hard to know like when to work and when not to work. So I like decided I was gonna take, you know, some more restful days. I still did some work, but just not as like intensely as I usually do, not as many hours as I usually do. But now I'm feeling really ready to get back into things, which means it's time to reset for the new year. And I'm not talking about like a new year, new me, like throw out everything you own, become a new person. Like that is not my style at all. We're doing this softly, we're doing this gently, and just doing things that help to clear our mind, cleanse our soul, to bring in what we are manifesting for 2026. If the content around this time of the year is really stressful for you, like just remember there's nothing wrong with who you were in 2025. It's worthwhile to do some like reflection on everything that you did accomplish. Even if your year didn't go as you planned, like it's a really good practice to make sure you're thinking about the things that you did do and that you did accomplish and that went well for you. And then setting intentions, being intentional about what you want the next year of your life to look like. So that is what we are doing here. First things first, we need to take down my Christmas decorations. I always get to this point like a few days after Christmas where I've been like resting in the apartment a lot and like it's kind of messy. Like I feel like this always happens, and then I look around and the Christmas decorations just make me feel like it's dirty, like that it's messy in my house and I need to take them down. There's not even that much up. Like I don't go crazy for Christmas. We only have a few decorations up, and the apartment is small, like there's not that much space to put things anyways, but still I feel like it's really time we need to put the Christmas decorations away, and we will take care of the rest of the mess later, because after that I need to get out of the house and get to work for the day because I have a lot to accomplish. This is a boy job. Out, like straight out, but it's just kind of hard to do. Oh my god. Thanks.
Boy job done.
Good job. Already feels so much better and cleaner in here, even though I really do still need to clean, as you could probably tell when I was putting away the decorations. It's just a little bit like cluttered in here. We need to do some dishes, pick up some things, which will all be part of our reset. But for now, that took a little longer than I expected, so I'm eager to get out of here and go to a cafe to get some work done for the day. 2026 goals.
Yeah.
And the only things I thought of are about running and move out of Massachusetts.
Those are 2 really goals. That's all you need. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't know what else.
Not much else you can do. More art.
One of the things that is always an absolute must for me when I am trying to reset and refresh is cleaning my space. And currently, this place that we're living here in Salem, it's amazing because we're in a building that has a lot of amenities that I'm not used to. Like my gym is down the hall, I have in-unit laundry, all of that stuff has been amazing, but it is much smaller than what we're used to from before. Or we were living in more like walk-up style places with like 3 units in Somerville before we moved out here to Salem. So that's kind of more what I'm used to, I guess, just having like a few more rooms to like expand out into and having like places to put everything away. Whereas here, like it's a beautiful apartment, but it's definitely smaller space. We don't have quite as much like storage space. Like there's not a home for everything. So I feel like it just gets cluttered so easily. And my husband and I have had to be a lot more like diligent about cleaning up after ourselves or like dedicating time to cleaning up because of the space that we live in. So I feel like the cleaning aspect of my New Year's reset is probably more important than ever this year. So I'm going to get to work on cleaning up this house. Later, also, I want to talk to you guys about goal setting and intention setting. Obviously, that's like a huge part of a lot of people's New Year's. So we're going to talk about that later. The journaling that you saw me doing earlier was kind of brainstorming what I think my 2026 goals and intentions might be. So together later, we can kind of sit down and like actually articulate how I would take that and set my goals for 2026. But right now we need to clean this messy house. So let's get to it. The kitchen and living room are clean. I just put away all of the clothes that were on the floor in our bedroom, which was an embarrassing amount. But we also recently have been like cleaning out stuff from our closets. Let me show you. These 2 bags are hopefully going to be donated somewhere. We need to figure out where to donate clothes around here. And then these little piles are all of the things that I'm currently trying to sell on Poshmark. That's one of the other things that I always like to do when I'm kind of resetting and refreshing is pick a space to clean out and get rid of stuff. I feel like I always have too much stuff. And clothes, that's my biggest culprit of the things that I have too much of. So it always feels good to go through the clothes and just get rid of anything that I'm truly not wearing anymore. All right, my dears, it is time to talk about setting goals for the new year. Goal setting obviously is such a big part of New Year's because we've always had this like New Year's resolution ideas. And I feel like there has been a lot of good media in recent years around the ideas behind how to actually set good New Year's resolutions and why New Year's resolutions fail. I feel like I've seen a lot of like really good podcast episodes, mindset coaches and psychologists and stuff talking through like why people fail their New Year's resolutions. And, you know, I'm sure you all have seen that media too. And it's really around the fact that the New Year's resolutions are not quantifiable, they're not achievable, they're not broken down into small steps. It's just people being like, oh, I want to write a book or I want to lose weight or something like that. And then they don't ever put in the actual planning and strategy and quantifiable numbers behind like how they're going to get there and what that goal actually means. Like, for example, taking the goal of like, I want to write a book and instead making it something like, I want to write at least 5 days a week for 1 hour after I get off from work. From there, like the ultimate goal, of course, is the book being written, but it needs to be broken down into something actionable and measurable that you can do every single day. But another thing that I kind of want to pull in from a very different side of media, as opposed to the like atomic habits kind of productivity, like how you're going to set New Year's resolutions that actually work for you. On the other side, we have the more witchy folks, the folks who are looking at pagan stuff and kind of following the seasons and saying, hey, January is actually not the new year for the earth. March is. Like when spring comes is actually the new year for the earth, when the earth is waking up.
Hello?
Hi, honey. Say hi to YouTube.
Say hi to what?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, nice.
In any case, I spent so long trying to find my goals that I made in 2025 so that I could like reflect on them. And I've moved this year and I literally could not find where I wrote them down. I can't find it. I've gone through like every journal and I don't see it anywhere. So literally going back through an old YouTube video and seeing what I said. In 2025, I did take a much softer approach to setting New Year's resolutions because in the previous years I had been so like aggressively set on like numbers and kind of entrepreneurial mindset. I think over this past year, especially at the beginning of the year, I was just like so burnt out. I just wanted to set intentions for how I wanted my year to feel. So these are not like hard and fast goals. They're more like intentions, what I want more of, what I want less of, all of that sort of thing. One of the big things that I had written down was like more art, spend more time on your writing, work on your book manuscripts, submit them out, try to get published, apply for opportunities, all of that sort of thing. And honestly, I feel like I was setting myself up for failure because I said that I wanted to do more of that, but then didn't clear the space in my schedule for it. I still had a 9-to-5 job for 9 months out of this past year, or 8 months actually out of this past year. So like, when was I supposed to actually do that? I think I got around to it eventually. I applied and went to the Fine Arts Work Center in Provincetown for a week to do a workshop there, and I spent a lot of time writing there, and that was fabulous. I did work on my manuscript, and of course eventually I quit my job. And I feel like the funny thing is, although that doesn't seem related to spending more time on my art practice and on my poetry, that's actually the thing that really needed to happen. It wasn't about me like prioritizing it more or just spending more time on it. It was actually about like, okay girl, you need to clear the space in your schedule because you are way too freaking busy. So that's just an interesting thing to reflect on, that like sometimes the goals that we set for ourselves, although they sound nice, you need to find what structures in your life you're going to put in place in order to do those things. And I feel like I didn't get around to the fact that like I needed to make a much bigger change if I was going to prioritize my art in my life. And I got there, and I'm really proud of the fact that I got there. So I'm kind of just starting to actualize that goal now as we enter the end of 2025. And actually, I'm starting 2026 at a 2-week residency at the Vermont Studio Center where I will be solely focusing on my poetry. So I feel like that's an auspicious start to 2026. And I'm sure that goal will come into my goals for this year. The next intention that I had set was like, like being more playful, doing things that don't have measurable outcomes. And one of the big things in that was reading books for pleasure, because I read so much because my job is editing books that a lot of the time I had ended up not reading anything for myself, like not reading any published books, which so goes against like what I wanted to be doing. So I had made it a goal to read more for pleasure, especially reading fiction and novels. And that one I have done so well on. I don't read as much as these like crazy book talkers who read like a book a day. That's wild. But I have read so much more this year of books that I just want to read for myself. So I'm really proud of that one actually. And I think something I want to do too is like look at my bookshelf and kind of decide what I want to start off my 2026 TBR with. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing, and we can potentially do that together at some point. Okay, the next one that I said in this video is hilarious because the intention was literally just less job. And in the video I go on to be like, I think this just means to like focus less on work, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you quit your job. Not only did I go to less job, I went to no job, and now all of the work that I'm doing is for myself, self-employed. That goal was well and truly accomplished, but I do think obviously like the less work idea does need to continue with me, because if I have like free time, for example, I will always go to like, okay, what inquiries do I need to answer? What posts do I need to make for social media? What can I work on editing, etc., as opposed to, you know, what poem do I want to write, or what part of my manuscript do I want to edit? So that is something that I need to continue working on within myself, which is that work is always the default. And I do feel like some of that comes from financial insecurity. Like, even though I'm in a decent place financially, I feel like living in a place like the greater Boston area, you know, we're in Salem now, but it's still quite expensive to live here, that I'm constantly just thinking like, okay, I need to make sure I'm good, like financially, no matter where my finances are. And then that creates like that anxiety where I'm like, okay, I need to work, need to work, need to work. And also just like associating identity with accomplishing things. Obviously, that's a big one that I'm still like unraveling within myself. It's really been ingrained into me that I am like what I accomplish, and that work is such a big part of my identity. So that's something I'm continuing to work through and improve. The next one was to amplify some of my educational content for authors, which again, I've done so good at this, and I feel like quitting my job is what really enabled it, because I never had time to do this before. I like truly launched my Substack, which has a lot of author tips, added the paid subscription tier so that I have, you know, money coming in from that so that I can invest more time into it. And I'm giving a lot more like detailed, in-depth, really good stuff to authors who are on that paid subscription tier. So that's huge. And I've been doing a lot more like educational content on TikTok about book editing. I'm working on an ebook about becoming a book editor. It's not yielding a ton of money yet, but I believe that it will if I continue to work towards it. So go me. This is like the first time that I've reviewed my goals from the previous year and feel like I've actually accomplished a large amount of them. This is amazing. Like, that just shows you that sometimes making the big change is what you really need to do in order to push yourself forward and just remove the obstacles from your path, even if it presents some difficulty along the way. The next one was more travel, and I had said specifically I want to travel internationally, like maybe do a vacation at a resort. I literally said Punta Cana, and we ended up going to Punta Cana for like a 10-day all-inclusive vacation. It was amazing. It was exactly what we needed. You know, check, that was accomplished. And then I also said like a lot more hiking and just spending time outdoors. We totally did that as well. We did like a bucket list leaf peeping trip to Franconia Notch in New Hampshire this past October, and that was incredible. My husband is like die hard into hiking, and I've been going with him more often whenever I can, so I definitely accomplished this one. The next thing that I had talked about was potentially moving out of the city, and we did that. As I've mentioned several times, we moved from the Somerville neighborhood in Boston to Salem. So it was a short move, you know, it's like 45 minutes away, but it still felt huge to us because it's like such a different environment. It's a much slower pace here. It really feels like a cute, like coastal New England town. Obviously it has all the beautiful Halloween vibes that we love, but I will say that I think this is just a temporary stop on our journey. It was a compromise so that I could fulfill the dance contracts that I still have in Boston Boston and just kind of the other commitments that I have that are sort of Boston based. Moving felt like such a huge thing to me, even though it was just close by. It was just like we had rooted our lives so deeply in Boston and in Somerville specifically. Like I had lived in Boston for 8 years and in Somerville for 7 of those years with my husband. Like we had really like sunken into that place. And I kind of do regret that now. Like I wish that we had made some of these moves sooner and like realized that the world is open to us. I just get so like focused on what's in front of me and I like forget that the options are open and life is vast and like you can make change. Change is possible. And actually because we made this change of moving up to Salem and like of me quitting my job, I feel like my brain chemistry has shifted in the sense that like change doesn't feel as serious to me now. And now I'm like excited to make more changes because I know that it's not as big of a deal as I once thought that it was. But in any case, it sounds like I did pretty darn good on my goals and resolutions from 2025. That is a first. I have never done good at them before. Okay, moving into some things that I wrote down for 2026. I need to like formalize these a little bit more so that it's something I can reference back. Obviously, I love to do this kind of stuff where I'm like setting the goals and then working towards them, but also like tracking my work towards them and being able to reflect back and see like what worked and what didn't. The first one that I wrote down is running. I have started running again, which is absolutely wild. I used to be a serious runner in high school. And I was really good and I always loved it. Like the feeling that running gives me is like nothing else, even though it's hard. So I've been running again and it feels really good. So I said maybe I'll like try to race a 5K, like sign up for a 5K race. I've already been able to run 5K, albeit very slowly. I can do it. So I felt like maybe in 2026, it'll be the year to like sign up for a race and try it out and see what happens. And I want to hopefully run like twice a week and try to increase my distance and my speed as I go. So that one's a more of like a concrete goal, but I think in terms of like fitness stuff for me, having like a concrete goal and plan to get towards it is what works best. I find that if I don't have a plan, I don't stick to it. I need someone to tell me what to do. Like in order to accomplish this, like even starting running again, I got this app called Runna, workout plans that you can customize. So I'm on this like run faster plan through Runna, and you kind of tell it like what your current speed is, the highest amount that you can run currently, all of that sort of thing, and it like customizes it for you. This is super not sponsored. I do pay to have this app and for it to customize it for me, but like I need someone to tell me what to do. Even if I have the knowledge to program the thing for myself, I feel like for accountability, it helps me so much to have like plans and systems in place like that. So that is how I'm going to accomplish that goal, is I'm going to follow that app to the best of my ability. Next one is a big one, and it's move out of Massachusetts. This might be the year that we take that next step out to the next place. This is, you know, we're just in the beginning phases of thinking about this, but it's been coming for a while. So we'll see where that goes. But like I've already mentioned to you guys that like Salem was a stop on the way and I love it here, but we know that it's not where we're going to be staying permanently. It's an intention that it's highly likely we will be leaving this area at some point soon, which I am so excited about. The next one I wrote down is write poetry more days than not. I am so excited to be starting the year at that residency, and I feel like it's gonna start me off on a good momentum of like getting back into my poetry practice in a truer and fuller way. Love to get a book deal on I have 2 full-length book manuscripts that I have been shopping around and sending out to contests and publishers for years. I am very picky about who I send it to, and I do believe that that is why it hasn't gotten picked up yet, because when it does get picked up, when I get a book deal, it is going to be one that I am extremely proud of and nothing less. This would be a good year. I feel good energy around it, so maybe I'll have some good news for you guys at some point. The other one is like romanticizing my morning routines and journaling routines. I have always romanticized my routines. You guys know this, like that's my thing. But I feel like around writing specifically, as someone who's been a writer for like more than half my life, I just bought my first fountain pen. It's like a cheap one, but like I've never had a nice pen before, and that is so wild to me. So I just bought my first fountain pen. I got a leather journal cover, and I'm gonna start buying like little notebook charms for it and stuff like that. I think for me, because of the way that I am, like I'm an aesthetic person. I like romanticizing things. Like when I have these structures around the thing that are aesthetic and romanticized, it really gravitates me to it more. So I just really want to romanticize my journals and my writing practice in a way that makes it really exciting for me to go back to. So, you know, like lighting a little candle and having your fountain pen and your beautiful trifold journal and all of this stuff, I feel like is something that really helps me to accomplish my goals around writing. So I'm excited to romanticize the journaling and writing routine a little bit more this year. The next thing I wrote down is really focusing on YouTube and Substack. These are platforms that I have loved and like wanted to really get into for the past few years, but once again, I never had time to do so until I left my 9-to-5 job behind. And now that I have more time to pour into myself, I feel like the places that I'm really being drawn, TikTok is a constant for me. I will continue to do TikTok, of course. That's the platform that I have always done, like even when I was super busy. But I kind of want to focus more on my Substack. I've been doing once a week posts, which, you know, is not that much compared to some other people, but for me that's huge. I've never been that consistent with it before, so I'm hoping to continue doing once a week posts, build up my paid subscribers, maybe offer paid subscribers even more like benefits and stuff like that. Like what can I build out to make that space something that's truly useful for authors to become a part of. And then YouTube, I've always loved YouTube, but it has been hard for me to be consistent with it over the last several years because I simply didn't have time with my 9-to-5 job on top of all of this other stuff that I do. It's still hard now. Like YouTube is hard work. It takes a lot of time to edit these videos, but I feel like now is the time. I'm like so energized by it. I love filming for YouTube. It's actually more fun than TikTok because I can kind of just like be myself and I don't have to worry about everything being so short form. Like I really like the long form. I like chatting with you guys and just like hanging out and showing you a little bit more of my life in like a less filtered way and in a way that's not catering to that like attention economy of having to like hook people and all of this stuff. So I've felt really gravitated towards YouTube, and I feel like now is the time for me to really keep going with it. So thank you guys for being here because you're a part of making that happen, and it means the absolute world to me. That's all I wrote down. Those are big enough, you know, and I feel like a big mistake that a lot of us make is making goals that are too huge or making too many goals for ourselves, and then that kind of sets us up for that failure. And I feel like these are massive things, like focusing on running, moving out of the state that I live in, writing more, like those are big, massive things already. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, one that's a little bit more functional that I didn't write down that I am thinking about right now is potentially being able to like replace my income of what I was making at my 9-to-5 job with my own stuff in this year. I think I can do it. So that's maybe more of like a hard and fast goal, is being able to get to like 100% income replacement. The last thing I'll just kind of talk you through is like, if you're looking for a way to set goals based on what I've done the last few years, here's what really works for me is writing down things that are more idea based, more intention based. So thinking about what do I want more of in this year and what do I want less of in this year, and just kind of like free write around that, you know, more play, more travel, whatever comes out. And then from there, from those big words and ideas and intentions of what you want your life to feel like, break that down into like, okay, what goals can I actually set that serve this feeling? More art, right? What does that mean? That might mean like write poetry at least 5 days a week or something like that. Taking those intentions and feelings and breaking them down into actionable things that you can like measure and hold yourself accountable to, and just make sure that they're not out of this world. Like make sure it's something you feel like you can accomplish. Like I'd love to write down on there, oh, run like 5 days a week and run a marathon, but I know that that's not going to be possible for me. I know myself. So writing down that I want to run at least once once to twice a week and potentially sign up for a 5K this year. That is more practical and something that, you know, is challenging but possible for me. So just make sure that those goals you're setting for yourself are possible. And let me know, like, if you all have certain ways that you like to set goals or what your goals are for 2026. Like, let's hold each other accountable. Put one of your goals in the comments of this video and we can all kind of support each other on that journey.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Speaking of those New Year's resolutions, I am going to head over to the gym and run 3 miles today based on my run-a plan that I have going. I am totally dreading it, but I always feel really good after I run. So that's one of the things about New Year's resolutions is sometimes it's hard to get yourself to do the thing, but then once you do it, you feel really good, and that reinforces being able to do it again and again. So you know what, I'm dreading it right now, but wish me luck. Let's go run this 3 miles. And also I know for some people that's like not that much, but for me it's a lot. This is the first time I've run that much since I was in high school. So for me, that's like a huge feat to go run 3 miles on a treadmill. So wish me luck. Let's do it. Watched my recent vlog, my like cozy vlog that I posted over the holidays. I started this ritual called the 13 Magical Nights ritual. It starts on December 21st, and basically you write down a bunch of like affirmations, things that you want to manifest for the next year in the present tense. So things like, I have a book deal, or I am a successful entrepreneur. Like, it has to be like in the present tense as if you already have it. And you write down 13 things, you fold them up on little pieces of paper, you put them in a jar, and then throughout the following 13 nights, you burn one of them at a time, and you're not allowed to look at the one that you burn. And on the last night of the ritual, there will be 2 pieces of paper left. You burn one, and then the last one is the one that you're sort of responsible for tending to throughout the year. The other ones you trust that the universe is taking care of them, essentially. So I got to my last night of the ritual, and this is not what I expected at all. It's the one that says, my income is increasing exponentially, which is wild. I thought it was going to be one of the ones that was like, get out of Massachusetts, or like, I live in a different state. But I guess I just need to trust that the universe is taking care of that one, and my income increasing is the one that I will be tending to over the next year. This makes sense in a way because the kind of mantra that I was like saying to myself while I was completing this ritual, like while I was burning the papers each night, was show me just how easy and abundant life can get. So the fact that the one that I ultimately got was about sort of abundance in a way, like it does feel right. And I feel like also this isn't telling me that I need to like work really hard towards increasing my income. I feel like it's telling me that the abundance is going to come, and it's going to come easier than I expected. Final message from the 13 Magical Nights ritual. That was really fun to do. I've never tried it before, and I really enjoyed doing that this year. Just something to like commemorate and start setting some goals in like a softer way. In any case, I think I'm going to go ahead and conclude the vlog here. It's been so nice like refreshing and resetting with you guys, setting new goals for the new year. And going forward from here, I have a couple days before I go off to my residency in Vermont. So I'm just going to be focusing on like packing for that, choosing the books I want to take with me, all of that sort of thing, and laying low a little bit to rest before that time comes. So let me know if you all want to see like a vlog from the residency. I won't be doing much other than writing and taking walks out in the nature and stuff like that. But if you'd like to see like what a residency is like for a writer, I can definitely do that for you. I will be posting TikToks about it as well. But yeah, thank you for making it all the way through this vlog. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and give this video a like. It helps out my channel so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.